Hi, I'm Brandy Williams, founder of Williams Accounting and Tax Services in McDonough, Georgia. We're a full-service accounting firm proudly serving clients nationwide, including military families and U.S. expats. With over 20 years of experience as an IRS-enrolled agent, we've got you covered from past tax returns to business services and strategic tax planning. Visit WilliamsActTax.com. Let's get connected and take your finances to the next level.
What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Class Climb blog. I apologize for the light in here. It's gonna be just hecka bright. Let's get into it. I know it's March Madness. Basketball's on. There's actually 2 TVs in this office over there, and I can see the March Madness. Okay, but let me get into this because I do have a training to come up on Middleman to Millions. Again, I am teaching people effectively how to run and get 2 to 3 day certs, how to start companies that you're not lifting a hammer, you're not hammering things, you are outsourcing. How can I tell you about government contracts? Because several people around me do them, actively in them. I've been 8A certified for a long time. You can go look it up. You can, if you Google enough, you'll see things about me. But long and the story short, you can't cheat the game is today's show. Just existing in America is over. You know how I'm going to be on this show. So brace yourself. Again, if you want to join us in Middleman to Millions, you want to stop crying about how America is, how you broke and how gas high. Every day this week, I've stopped somewhere to get food or get drink or get coffee. And they'd be like, did you see the gas? Did you see the gas? And I'd be like, yeah. Y'all, I literally, this ain't telling on myself, but I stuck my card in the machine to get gas. I pulled the handle, have the little lock, and I walked off and went to the store to go get an energy drink. I didn't need it, but I got it anyway. And I came back, the gas was spilling. This man was like, oh my God, honey, I grabbed it for you. So it little spill inside the car. I had to go wash the car. If you would have seen the faces of like horror that the old Black people around the gas stations were looking like, oh, my poor baby, you should see if they give you a refund. You should go back inside and say the gas pump spilled. And I was like, damn, y'all that down bad that the gas, I spilled the gas. They have a right to charge me for the gas. Y'all got to let this go. Y'all got to calm down. If you see people's face, America runs on cheap gas. I keep telling y'all this. So again, you can grab the land grab community. It's not just a course, it's a community. We're in there talking about auctions. We're talking about a lot of different things. The schedule will be improved. It will be a land grab training on a Wednesday, I think, coming up this week. But I just want you to understand we had to move it to Wednesday because it's a really impactful class. We end up spending 2 hours talking about land and flipping and house stuff. So go check it out. Y'all know what it is. Let's get into it. Okay. You see the title. You can't cheat the game. Just as this thing America's over. Now I'm gonna do a little rant about mixed people. I know you're gonna be like, Erica, no, not mixed people. I have to do it. Kimora Lee Simmons is staying inside of a house. Her supposedly billionaire husband, okay, got money. Okay, now that was so important, they put it on the Real Deal, which is the TMZ of real estate. If you don't know, I've talked about it a lot. You even got Raggedy over here talking about it. Let me pull her up real quick. And the reason I bring this up is Kimora Lee can't cheat the game. She's like all other mixed people I've ever met in my life. The most important combination about her is she's mixed. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the most important thing about her is she's mixed. She's 50 something years old. I don't give a damn. We don't give a damn. Men don't give a damn anymore. Right? They're exotic. That plays out at 32. I'm telling y'all don't believe me. I grew up in military towns, Alaska, Germany. My brother did Japan. My daddy was born in Japan. My uncle was born in Japan. My grandparents married in Japan, stayed in Japan 7 years. I lived in Maryland, lived in Alabama. I lived in a lot of states, Texas. Just because I don't name all the places I stayed and lived, you just don't know. And a lot of these kids, what happens is their most important thing, and I'll agree with Aaron Clary and a lot of white red pillars online, whatever, that the most important trait was that you were mixed, or you were a girl, or you're a boy, or you're gay, right? I remember 2 Puerto Rican kids at our high school, both were gay. And we were like, how is two people in a family gay? Who touched y'all? Okay. Right? So Kazi Bear will leave you at the bottom. We'll leave that question at the bottom. If it's that really important, you can super chat. But anyway, let's keep moving. Let's stay focused because I got a training at 3:30. That's the most important thing about you, of like your identity. Even the other day, I was at a business meeting. The man's in his 40s. He was talking about how everybody keeps calling him Jamaica. That makes him mad that people call him Jamaican. And we're in the meeting like, why does that even matter? We're talking about real estate and you talking about being Jamaican. Who cares? Right? Like, this is the same thing. I meet a lot of British people when I go Northeast, New York, Massachusetts, and they'll be like, I'm British. And I'll be like, who cares? Right? Like after a certain age, that plays out. That whole game plays out. Now, what do I mean that game plays out? I did a show on Osei Duke Jackson's channel. I don't know how many years this is now, maybe 5, maybe 4. And I had a partnership with a credit repair company, and we had over 600 men sign up. We were not prepared for that. So I had to do a lot of intake calls, and I had to, do a lot of processing and help them, right? I ended up talking to so many people who were like 32 to 34. They were tall and good looking. You look at their driver's license, they was good looking black man. And they had all the same questions. Hey man, I met this girl. Now I got to get my credit right. I got to get a car. I got to get my own place. I'm like, well, where do you live? I live off and on my grandma, my mama and them. And it was the craziest stories. That's why when I tell y'all these breakdowns about when people realize me being tall and look like Morris Chestnut, that shit runs dry. That's why people keep trying to go younger, because they're like, maybe some young girl might feel it. You know what I'm saying? maybe somebody else might feel it, and they don't. Right? So you start getting to a point where that's cute, that you're cute, but what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Right? It starts to get to a point where you're like, that's cute, but what else you got going on? This is why when I was in Texas, I had so many people who were like 32, and they were like blowing our phones up. Hey man, I'm joining the military. Hey man, I'm doing this. Hey, I'm going to go overseas. There's even a famous YouTuber from my hometown who is half Korean, half black. He looked like a black person with Asian features, just light skin. And he moved to Korea. He's like, I'm leaving America and I'm going to Korea. He got over there and he realized quickly, they don't care. You a hopper. And he ended up getting engaged and married to a girl. What was the girl? She was half Korean, half white. You gotta realize, you thinking that's special, they don't give a damn. They're like, what kind of job do you have? I'm teaching English. That ain't no money. It runs its course. And when you poison people like this by telling them the most special thing about them is who they are, whether it's a black woman, Latino woman, whatever, right? We run around telling Latino women they feisty. Yeah, get it. Like, that's goofy. That's goofy. Now I'm gonna show a couple clips because I like to mix it up and be funny, but I want y'all to understand, like, that can't be the most interesting thing about you. This is why when I say you meet British or Australian people, there's 2 types. There's one that's traveled all over the world. They done went to Africa. They done went to Australia. They done went here and there because they're British, and British people before them and their grandparents traveled all over Africa. So are they. Cool, exciting, British. Then you have another type of British that came to America and just got an office job and is just glad to be here. And when you talk to them, again, the most exciting thing about them is their accent, because they work a regular job just like you. And so I just want people to understand, like, let that go, baby. You can't cheat the game of being interesting in life. I was watching, I shared on a community wall last night, and before I show these clips, it was Ryan Pieta, the bald head guy, and this other guy. He's in his 40s, and he's like, yeah, he's naming study after study about all these women. And when they finally boiled it down, they said, wait a minute. So you're saying this is just 4% of women? Yeah, it's just 4% of women. So there's a whole 92% of women, 92 to 95% of women who are just going to work, living regular lives, not on OnlyFans, and are okay. Yeah. Then why are you obsessed about this 5% of women? Obsessed, like OnlyFans and people and like, he's obsessed. And so they were right. Like, if you're an average dude and you go outside and talk to people and touch grass and are interesting, you'll win. The average man in America is 5'9". Let it go. 5'9", and makes $59,000 to $61,000 a year. That is the average. I think the medium average for married men was like $82,000 a year. And people are like, well, when you get married, you got to make more money. It's literally a small percent of women that are on OnlyFans. And the number seems so astronomical, and it seems so crazy because men are throwing their paychecks at them. Okay? Just like the other corn industry. Okay, right? And so you have to understand, What's happening? The average person doesn't know numbers. They're walking up to women and they think all these men make 100K and all this crazy stuff. People are now getting a little or more awakened and Googling. What is the average dude? Only 17% of men in America make over 100K a year. Now, could more make that? Heck yeah. Does the average married couple make 120 to 140,000? That's the average married couple. That means high performing married couple. Let's be very clear. Now, the number one thing I get from a lot of y'all, well, what about Black people, Erica? Again, we got about a 20-25% of Black people that are doing the Cosby Show. Highly educated, highly wealthy, over there married, living their life, living in the Northeast, living in the Southwest, and confused on why y'all tripping. We got a 10% that you know, some other creator said this, and I'm agree with him for a second. 10% is doing that Clarence Thomas. I've been to too many Republican Party events, and we got that 10% like racism doesn't exist. And this, they get hit in the head somewhere, and they're like, oh my God, the racism. Right? So then you got another 30% of Black people, they're just doing the middle. They're just doing basics. You know, they kind of working, you know, they picking the kids up from public school, and they don't understand. They kind of squished in the middle because of finances and life. Then you got that last 30 to 40%, depending on how you shape it. And they ghetto. They struggling, they poor, they in poverty, they growing dreads, not wash them, they stank, they walk around smell like weed and patchouli, they got a bonnet on at the bus stop, they doing too much. But you'll meet white people and they think that's every Black person. So you'll meet white people, be wealthier than them, and they get mad. Do you know how many times I've been in first class planes and people are like, well, did they upgrade you? No, baby, I bought this seat. No, baby, I bought this seat. What are you talking about? Did you? I remember this Black man that's like 6'4", and he flew in first class because he was like the vice president of a big company in California. And he said the countless times people asked him, did he play basketball, drove him so crazy. He was like, how much does it cost for me to get a charter plane and charter all the other places? And the company paid for it. The company paid for it because he was so harassed. Day in and day night going on plays. Y'all do, I could tell you countless ridiculous stories, but because we have this 30 to 40% of Black people cutting up, white people make themselves feel bad by saying that's all Black people. But I'm telling you, if you're a white person and every day you're dealing with poor Black people, you are extremely poor. Okay, there are places in literally Maryland that when I drove with my mom and we went to go visit a friend of hers that was military, it was like a sergeant major and his wife was a sergeant major and they had this giant house. The people at the gate was a Black man was like, what are you doing here? We're like, oh, we're visiting this sergeant major. He was like, let me call them first. And we were dressed appropriately. It was after church on Sunday. And so literally he called them. He's like, oh, my bad. I apologize. You have a great day, ma'am. I just want to make sure. I've just never seen you here before. It's a very small community. And that's why if you're in my inner circle, or if you're in land grab, I'll teach you about why we're building small subdivisions and how that's why I'm segueing a lot for YouTube a lot, because I already know that's the future. It'll be a few Claire Huxtable Black people like, hey, there's only like 10 houses in my neighborhood and a gate at the front. How you getting here? Who are you? What are you doing here? Right? When all these white people go online talking about there's no safe Black neighborhoods, that means you're a poor white person. That's what that means. And you're confused because you thought you were special because you were white. You're learning. You're learning. What we're learning from Trump administration is who you know and how much money you make. All right. Let me show you a couple of these because I want to laugh and we got to break it up. This is a prime example. People learning they're not special. Let's go with this one first. Hope y'all, it's a joke. I know the Dominicans have been messaging our staff. Get over it.
I'm Black.
Wait, what?
What happened, Patrick? What happened, Bobby?
Immigration. Are you Dominican?
I'm not Dominican. Fine. I'm Black.
And so like what I love about Instagram and TikTok right now is so many Dominican people are getting in on the joke, and they're dark skinned and they're tired of it. They're tired of their grandmas cutting up. They're tired of their aunties and they abuelas cutting up. They're even getting in on the joke. We get it. We look Black. Okay. I'm no Black. Okay. And so they're making comedy about it, but they're learning. You're not special because you wave a Puerto Rican, Dominican island flag. It's just one part about you. If you came here from Dominican Republic and you are still struggling in America, you didn't come to America and make millions of dollars, they're looking at you crazy. Go look at all the Vice documentaries where the Haitians get deported for selling drugs in Miami. And the Haitians in their country be like, are you stupid? Are you dumb? All you had to do was go to work and buy a house in America. And they be beating them up and robbing them, and as they should. Because that's all you had to do. There was a Cambodian man on one of them documentaries. They sent him back to Cambodia. He tatted, neck up, tatted. And they like, what happened? How'd you get deported from America? You've been in America forever. And they like, oh, like I was doing drugs. I was selling drugs. Selling drugs in America? They can't believe how dumb it is. They're like, that don't make no sense in any world. Let me show you another one. You're not going to like it, but I got to show it before I go to the more serious stuff. Go in the comments if you're enjoying the commentary, because it can be spicier, but I'm trying to be nice. This is a prime example of the mixed kid Jalen's. The mixed kid Jalen's out here struggling, fighting for their lives. Okay, here we go.
I asked too many questions and I was basically stirring the pot. And then finally there was one day where she just like had enough, called my grandma. I was like, if you don't come pick this kid up, I'm going to send him to foster care. I remember like looking out the back seat of my grandma's car at my mom's house and just like my hands on the window, just like bawling my eyes out. From that point on, I lived with my grandma. And so I like fucking hated women for years because of that. And it's not like I intentionally hated women, but I was so fucking mad at my mom. And I think when you have unresolved trauma with your mom and you're fucking angry with your mom, you have unresolved trauma with feminine energy. Like your mom is the first female that you see when you come into this world. And so if you hate the first female that you see when you come into this world, how do you think you're going to treat other females in the world if your core person that you're supposed to love the most, you have a negative relationship with? So I just sabotaged every relationship in my life because of that. Harboring anger towards someone else is only a poison that affects you. Where I'm at right now with my mom, I've forgiven her in the sense that for me to hate her is like me hoping that my anger affects her, but it's just like this fucking poison that just eats me alive. When I was 8 years old, my mom kicked me out of my house.
Okay, now listen, there have been several men who've come and said this. Who this ain't the only one. He's just, again, when I start seeing black dudes and their hair, they like blow dry their hair to make a box. When they be blow drying their hair, I already know what time it is. Maybe your beard is patchy. You have hamburger meat, taco meat on your chest. Why are you blow drying your hair? What are you doing? This is why I always tell people, who the hand that rocks the cradle determines the culture. If your mama is white and she not nice to you, oh my God. Oh, you go crazy. I literally went to school with a young man. He had he was putting Rogaine on his hair. He had like a texturizer in his hair. He lived with his grandma. He lived in the basement. Y'all, we don't have that many basements in North Carolina. I want to clarify that first. This ain't like up north. It's rare for a house to have a basement, but they had a big, beautiful luxury house that was on a sloped hill. And he lived in the basement. He was like, you guys can come over and hang out at the basement. And we go to his house and we realize they got this kid in a basement. When we got older, when we went to college, he was telling us how he was so glad to leave because they had him in the basement and his auntie called him the N-word and he didn't think about it because he was an 8-year-old kid. Y'all, there's a lot more stories like this. That's why when y'all be making these Jalen's, I'll be like, please help the Jalen's. Please don't leave these po Jalen's out here like this. Don't do them this way. They don't deserve it. But let's keep it moving. Let me get out of there. Because again, you can't cheat the game. Here we go. Hit the kids. Sorry. Got to do it. This is sad. You have more providers than ever. Teaching parents, they got a parent. So here we go. Are y'all ready?
Mental health assessments more this year than any other year I have been in the mental health field. And the majority of the behaviors that I have seen have been triggered by one thing only. Can you guess what that one thing is? And this question that I ask all parents, they're not included in these assessments. I have to include this question in my assessment because it's so relevant and it's so prevalent to today's society. Just guess what it is. How many hours in a day is your kid on a screen? And do they play Roblox or video games? And then when the parents ask me, what are my recommendations and suggestions? Take it away. Oh, but they're bored. Take it away. Take it all away. Now. 2-year-olds should not be on screens. 3-year-olds should not be on screens. No. I get it. Maybe 30 minutes, an hour. Put some like non-overly stimulating episodes. Please remove Cocomelon from Netflix. Please stop giving your kids YouTube and Netflix. Stop. Go on PBS. Go on some old-time Disney classics. Maybe some black and white shows. Something that's slow. I don't know, put a Spanish soap opera. Anything would be better than whatever they're watching. 30 minutes only. No more than that. Your PCPs are telling you this. Your therapists are telling you this. Your dentists are telling you this. The teachers are telling you this. I mean, how many more people do you need to tell you that this is it? It's nothing else. I have 3.
I cannot tell you how many people send us an email. Erica, thank you for what you're saying. Girl, I work as a provider here or there. I won't never name the places. And this is the number one thing they're facing. 2 and 3-year-olds who are falling out, having convulsions because they're never bored. This is why the village is tired. Every time people say, when you have a kid, there's no village. People don't want to help. You know why people don't want to help? Because when we tell you they're not going to be over our house playing with toys and shit, they're going to be outside. You don't want to hear that. When you say no kid can come over my house if I can't discipline them. Oh, you can't discipline my baby. You can't tell my kid what to do. That's your problem. I think I've told this story before on this channel. I was at either the DMV or a doctor's office. I can't remember what. There was a black woman, chubby, dressed to the nines, looking on her cell phone. Her little boy is fidgeting. He getting up, he ain't got near toy. And every time she keep popping him, telling him, sit back down, sit back down. This boy can't be more than 2.5, y'all. So I dig in my backpack because that's how, I knew I had my laptop and I didn't want to leave it in the parking lot garage. I pull out a piece of paper and I think I had a leftover crayon or something that was from, my family that came in town. And I give it to the child. His eyes light up. He sits down on the floor with the paper on the chair and starts drawing. Doesn't even say nothing to her. This black woman looks up at me with that face like, bitch. She's like, thank you. Thank you so much. I left it in the car. Bitch, why would you leave anything in the car for a 2-year-old? You on your phone nonstop watching whatever you're watching. And the 2-year-old cannot just sit still. He's a 2-year-old. This was a little black boy, y'all, little soft hair, little tiny fingers. I'm talking about at least a little car toy, something. And he was just so content to draw on that paper. That's why when people say, oh, I have boys, Erica, they don't draw on paper. Kids will do whatever you want them to do if you're training them. We have a ton of boys in our family. They draw Superman, Spider-Man. They draw all kind of stuff. They color. You know why? Because our family's a calm ass family. Some of y'all got raggedy families. If you have boys that can't ever sit down, what are you feeding them? What are they drinking? And I'll bet you money without a shadow of a doubt, it's soda, it's red hot chips, it's Doritos, it's they mouth sticky, they ain't ate a fruit cup in a year. It's candy. So you're fueling a hyper ball of energy. And when anybody outside of you says anything about it, you're violent, you're aggressive, you're loud, right? We just saw on TV, a little boy hugged the bus driver, touched her butt. She pushed the kid, slaps him, okay? And when she gets off the bus, of course, the little boy said, the bus driver slapped me. She said, your son touched my butt. You better get on out of here before I call police or call the school. I'm trying to let him slide because he's a little black boy with dreads. I'm trying to let the little boy slide. The mama cussing, you don't put your hand on my kid. You don't do this and that. She said, ma'am, please get on. She done asked this woman 12 times, please, ma'am, go, get out of here. Whole time the video rolling, you got black women with bonnets coming to get their kid. This is a semi-private school with uniforms. And they have mothers with bonnets and pajamas on coming to get kids off the bus. You sending your kid to a private school, but you out here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in pajamas? You think that's going to really change that kid's life? No, baby, because you in pajamas. So anyway, long story short, bus driver turns around and mollywops that woman's ass, just beats the shit out of her. Beats the shit out of that woman. It's like another grown man parent was out there and had to pull them apart. It's like, hey, She's like, nah, that's it. I'm calling the police. I didn't want to play that here. I played enough fighting videos, so I'm good on playing that here. But I want y'all to understand, the world is not playing with you and these kids. The village isn't going to village for you out here because y'all are sorry as hell. And people fight. Erica, no, don't say that. That's rude. You can't say that. You don't understand. Baby, if your kid is spending 8 to 12 hours a day with after school providers, daycare workers, teachers, but you're going to tell us we don't know what we're talking about. Baby, we got firsthand watching your little Bam Bam all day. We got firsthand. I'm telling you, when my nephews at the school had awards day, teachers were like, thank you. We can tell the families that invest in the children. We can tell. And it's sad. There was a little boy there. I can't say his name or anything, but he was adopted by white people. And he was the only other little boy with awards. Our family and our family. And they were like, just we can tell the kids that are loved. These teachers look stressed, y'all. Stress the hell out. Y'all are stressing them. Y'all are stressing them. You're stressing these people the hell out because you refuse to tell the kid no. Sit down. Be bored. Go outside. Play with a puddle. Kids have amazing imagination. They'll listen. We used to have a box full of like Superman costumes, different kinds. And we just put the box there and we let the little kids in our family play. Them kids would dress up Spider-Man, Superman. They would make up characters. No games in sight, no TV in sight, no tablets, no phones, no nothing. We have one family member who's trying to force her child to have a phone. And our whole family's like, he's good. Why are you doing this? Well, I need to be able to catch up with him. Baby, he's 9. He's the same age as my nephew. Like, where is he going? To school and to the bus. What are you talking about? He needs to have a phone. And every man in our family is like, do not. Even her husband's like, well, he doesn't need a phone. And she's like, but every other kid got a phone. You're like, baby, he don't need it. You have to almost hold the line with who you allow around your kids, because if you can see all kind of naked people on your phone, don't you think they can? Come on, man. Let me play this and keep it moving. Hold on. Language of the poor is dangerous, y'all. It's dangerous. If you let these poor people talk too loudly, it's dangerous.
Something along these lines, which is like, not everyone can do this. If everyone were rich, then society would cease to function. They go to these extreme lengths and they go, well, you can't expect everybody. And we're not even close to everybody. We're at like a 1 to 5% max of society is now functioning at a high level. We're not even close to everybody. Their immediate knee-jerk reaction, you can't expect everybody to be the top. You can't expect everybody to be rich. We're so far away from those metrics. I don't even know where they're getting this. And it reminds me of my mom. When my mom was raising me, she would always say to me, Donna, why are you always comparing yourself to the worst? Because I'd be like, well, I have really bad grades. And that's okay because like the majority of people have bad grades. And my mom's like, why are you always comparing yourself to like the worst people? Why are you not comparing yourself to the best people? And I don't like raising kids with this obsession over comparison, but she does have a point, which is like, why are you always comparing yourself to the worst? Why don't you look at the people that are doing well and actually learn from them instead of vilifying, well, if everybody was well off, then we'd cease to, then who would do all the work? Like, what does that have to do with anything? That's just like saying, well, if everyone had $1 million, then $1 million wouldn't mean anything. But we're not even close to that. Like the metrics that we have in this society where barely people can barely scrounge together $1,000 in a case of emergency. That's like the 95% of the American population right now. Our numbers are so far out of whack, and yet people are still resorting to the whole, well, if everybody was rich, then we'd all be the same level. It's like, we're just so far. I don't even know what that's called. Like, what is that actually called? There's got to be a clinical psychological phrase for that. Another really
she has a really good one talking about, don't you know kids are expensive? Let me see if I see it real quick before I move on. Because it's funny and it's true.
It's time to be really honest about parents in specifically America, because that's my lived experience. There's a lot of people that when I post content like, you need to enrich your children's minds with classes instead of items, and their knee-jerk reaction is, well, do you know how expensive that is? Do you know how expensive that is? I have 3 kids. Do you know how expensive that is? What's wrong with that statement? What's wrong with that statement? The thing I see wrong with that statement is that you chose to have 3 children and then found out that, shocker, classes cost money. Shocker, housing costs money. Shocker, healthy food costs money. How? Like, unless you are like a teen bride, Where did you miss that memo? Why was that memo missed? I find it extremely irresponsible for men and women to complain about costs of children when every responsible human being knows that to raise a responsible human being is not cheap. You can't just give them an iPad and be like, have at it. Raising thoughtful, productive members of society takes effort and energy. Anyone with stressed out parents like I did, who didn't grow up rich like I did, can see the stress it takes on parents when you don't have money and resources and time. So what are the responsible adults doing today? Well, the millennials, starting with millennials, my generation, they're being really thoughtful about whether or not they should be procreating, because they know and they understand that this is a humongous responsibility. So when someone says to me, well, do you know how much it costs? Well, do you know how much it costs? I want to ask them, did you not know how much it costs? Did you not know? You didn't do your research before you decided to pop out a new baby? Like, you did not do the math to understand what daycare costs could look like? And now all you're doing is complaining about it? It is what it is. You make the decisions, you live with it. And that includes becoming a parent. If you cannot, take the heat, then get out of the kitchen. Like, you should have never had kids if you literally can't fend for yourself. If you cannot afford your own self, you have no business having children. And that's the hard truth. Nobody wants to say out loud, because this country is like all about, the nuclear family. You can't have a nuclear family when you have no jobs, when you have no way to earn a living. It's time to be.
Whew, y'all, come on, man. Y'all, every summer, y'all know I bring it up. Oh my God, the kids are eating me out of my house and home. Oh my God, the backpacks, the haircuts. Oh my God. Oh my God, at the school, they want me to pay for $20 in supplies, and they're stealing my kids' supplies. I can't. Every summer when people put stuff, I have to use God level energy to not type under their post. Ain't your son 14? Ain't your child 10? Ain't your child 11? Ain't your child 9? How many summers do you not know this is going to happen? How many summers? Did you know the camps this summer are $6,000, Erica? I have 3 kids. Baby, they don't go to that camp then. Pick a different camp. Do you know how many people go on the news every March? This is what happens. In March, they start opening up the summer camps. And listen to me. Listen to me. I have been on the phone with about 15 of y'all. And I said, make a camp. Well, I'm a teacher. I'm like, make a camp. I don't care what the camp's called. I don't care where. Go find one of these peer spaces that you can rent. One of these VRBOs, one of these places you can rent for the week. Make a camp. Made the camp $300 per kid. And they're learning whatever all day. And I promise you, you're going to look up, you get a special permit, a special insurance license for the week. They will let you have a camp with about 200 kids in it. And I've been on the phone with 15 of y'all who are like coaches and teachers. And I'm like, make a camp. Make any fucking camp. Make a camp. Stop crying about being a teacher. Make a camp in the summer. You will make double your income as a teacher. There are my nephew, I just paid $4.99 for one of my nephews to go to an elite camp for soccer. And I'm like, you better run every day. And that's not even a lot of money, because people are like, oh, that's a small camp. You better run every day, baby, because Auntie just bought this for you. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm like, I'm excited too. Run every day. Okay. Now, I'm just telling you, make a camp. Tim Jackson tells you this, used to tell you this all the time. He would make some type of sports camp, and it'd be like 500 black boys. The moms would drop them off. So excited. Thank you, Jesus. Drop them children off. He'd make a business camp or educational camp. He could barely get 50 kids. He could barely get 100 kids some summer. I want you to understand, these little Keisha Cole wannabes, these little Lotto Juniors, these little goofies that done had children, they want their son to be in something flashy so they get some shine. That's the only way they get shine, because honestly, they're fucking boring. Nobody cares about them. They ain't doing nothing exciting. Their life ain't good. So they like, little Jalen, little Jerome, little Jay Quashus in this sports camp. That's what they do. So I'm telling you, if you're a teacher and you crying, Eric, I don't know how I'm gonna get a job this summer at Old Navy, and you call me, you book a call me, I'm telling you now, I'm gonna tell you to start a camp. I've been on this phone call so many times with about 15 of y'all. And I even got the numbers now. I can just tell you how much to start a camp is. You can make a lot of money. Call some of these people in here to get some insurance, some business insurance. You only getting it for a week, right? Some of these people are going outside, paying coaches $14 an hour, okay, to do a 1 week camp, and they charging parents $300 for the week. They're gonna have oranges, little cut up sandwiches from Costco out there, little water bottles from Costco, and they're gonna walk off with about $30,000 if they do a certain amount of camps this summer. They'll make their teacher salary via the summer. It's not hard. Y'all done asked me so many times as teachers what you can do. I ain't even telling you to start no business. I'm telling you to have a summer camp. Especially this summer when people are like, the economy, the recession is breaking me. I'll be like, baby, let me tell you something. Start a camp. Start a camp. Start a camp. These parents do anything. These kids be at a camp. They had a line outside for the state of North Carolina for swimming and camps. They had 800 parents in the line on a Saturday. They had government workers working on a Saturday so that they could get all these people reduced camps, reduced price camps. Y'all don't understand. There are campgrounds in North Carolina that are full. They stay full every year. They be $2,000, $3,000 for 6 weeks in the summer. Them kids, they pack them damn kids up and they leave them there. I don't think y'all understand what's going on out here. Exactly. Okay, so I'm gonna leave the kids alone because y'all be like, Erica, no, you can't talk about parents. We're parents. I don't want to hear that shit. You can't cheat the game. Let me show you this. Y'all gonna be offended and prepare yourself to be offended. You can't cheat the game either. When you get old as shit, ain't nobody trying to look for you. Ain't nobody looking for you. Why are you out here in summer, spring break harassing these young ladies? They gonna let you know. This generation of young ladies is gonna let you know about yourself. Prepare yourself to be offended.
Looking for young hoes. Go with your age group. Okay. Why are you 30 plus looking for young hoes? Go with your age group. Okay. You're not with your age group because you know you're corny. She said it, not me.
Ladies, your internet big sisters and aunties are proud of you because a lot of these men are predatory. They're hoping that your frontal lobe hasn't fully developed and that they could take advantage. They like to see you like a young woman because they don't have all that baggage. But by baggage, they mean experience. They hope that you're unfamiliar with their game, their techniques, their tactics that they've all learned in Red Pill podcasts. She's absolutely right. The women their age aren't usually impressed by what they have to offer. They like those young women because all you have to do is have more than them. If you're still young enough to still be living home with your parents, they got their own place, so you may find that impressive. You're taking the bus, so you think a man having a car may be impressive. You're still a college student, so most of the guys your age can't afford to take you to a nice restaurant, but he can. They often pursue younger women because they don't want to try as hard. And the women their age have everything they have and more. That man is 10 or 20 years older than you, and he only has a little more than you do. That man is a failure to the women his age. This man says, wait until she's in her 30s and 40s. I hope she keep that same energy because I can guarantee when you're at that age, the guys around you at that age won't want you because you have already been ran through, and that's just a reality. Accept it or not. Talk to your mom about it. It's life. When they get desperate or backed into a corner, they always use the same tactic. They try to make it seem like, well, there's going to be one day where he's going to be up and you're going to be down and you're going to wish that you chose him. It's always the ones who peaked in high school, the ones whose best days are behind them, not in front of them, that want you to put your future in their hands. I don't care if you were the football captain 26 years ago. It's 2026. What can you do for her now?
I had to play that video, the original video. I'm glad I didn't play the original because it's very offensive. It went viral because he's running around all the spring break, Houston, Daytona Beach. He asking young girls on camera, and they clowning him bad. And the men are like, F them. They're not even that good looking. Blah, 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 blah. They going crazy. And he didn't even make the content to rage bait like that. He's even made apology videos like, hey, please don't harass these girls. Don't go try to find their social media. Don't stalk these women. These are grown men in their 30s and 40s, y'all. Mad because these young ladies are saying what is on their mind. What the hell are you doing down here with a bunch of 19-year-olds and you're 37? What are you doing here? You can't cheat the game. Go outside, touch grass, and proximity will put you where you need to be. if you're 40 plus, you're not in proximity with 19-year-olds unless you're forcing yourself to be. Okay. There's a guy that came on Ron Pieta show talking about, yeah, women throw themselves at me. Then he had to tell the truth. He's actually a photographer, part-time photographer. He runs a photography good business. And he was doing photography for Miss one of those pageants. And he was doing photography for like other agencies. So they're not throwing themselves at you. They're trying to figure out how to get free photography, bro. And he's like, yeah, I'm 40 plus and I think he's like 45 or something. And he's like, I want to marry somebody younger, but I don't want to get married for real. I want to have just like a ceremony where it's not the government and she signed a prenup. And if you could see Ryan Pieta and the other guy's face, like, if you don't get your goofy ass out of here, what healthy family gonna have a 25-year-old girl married, but not married for real? Just have a ceremony outside their backyard, a 40 plus year old man, and he signed a prenup. And he don't want them to work. The woman you're gonna find that is agreeing to that and her family's cool with that, she's a prostitute. She's a stripper. She's a single mom. It's like, damn, I need some money. I need some help. There's no healthy. Listen, we literally have a friend. He's the nicest guy you've ever met in your life. And there was this girl, and I'm gonna say it because it is what it is. And the girl is white and she looks older than she was. There's a 10-year age gap. Not big, just 10 going on 11 years. He's 40 and she was 31 going on whatever, right? And her family was telling a joke like, what are you, 40? And he was like, yes, sir, I am. They were like, oh my God. He said it was like you could hear a fork drop in the restaurant. Y'all got to understand, people from big, wealthy families, healthy families that got multiple daughters, they're not looking for some dude who's old to come marry their daughters. They're not. They're not. I know y'all think, no, Erica, they so happy that their daughters are getting married. No, they're not. Y'all keep telling this story. And this guy that we know, he's a good looking guy with lots of money. Lots of money. And I'm like, I think once his dad said, well, how much money does he make? Let me think about it a little bit. Okay, I think we can be okay with this. Y'all think that I'm joking. I'm talking about healthy families where the parents are still married. They going on vacations as a family. They got money. There's no drama. No drama Obama. They good people. The daughter's got a decent career. She ain't out in the streets looking like a tramp. You're never going to marry into those families because they're going to be like, what is your old ass doing over here? They literally later in life kind of apologized to him after they've been married for 2 years. Like, that was kind of a rude dinner, wasn't it? That was rude. That you can't cheat the game. Y'all can't cheat the game. You can't. Again, the dude that's number 2, Brian Dawson. He's number 2 to Grant Cardone. Dude sold a business, had over $30 million. His heart doctor, this man had a whole heart surgery. His heart doctor was like, hey, can my daughter come work at your company this summer? She's just kind of acting real liberal and I need her to get her mind in the game and get focused. Can she come work for you? She comes to work for him. Now, don't get it twisted. This man was married in the middle of a divorce. He gets with the daughter. They keep it secret for a year and a half. And again, this man is worth $32 million. Goes to dinner with the doctor. The doctor literally, famous heart doctor, is like, you son of a bitch. You scum of the earth. Turns around, calls his daughter a whore at a high-end restaurant. Daughter's like 22 with an almost 50-something-year-old man. And again, y'all keep playing this scenario head that if I was rich, they would roll and fall for it. They would be ecstatic because I'm so rich. That's not true. Healthy, normal families will never want their young daughter to be exploited or treated by you. They rather her be with a broke 30-year-old. They rather her be with an engineer that's just starting a career he just finished high school and college just like them. Y'all think I'm joking? They again, I went to a church that was very wealthy. We had a lot of older engineers in there with money, and they would try to talk to some of these younger girls, and the younger girl parents would be like, boy, if you don't get the hell on, oh, I have a house and I've been an engineer over here at Dell and I've been an engineer over here at this company. And they would literally be auditioning, talking to the parents. And the parents would be at lunch like, why are you over here with us? Like, what? You can't cheat the game. No matter how y'all try to play. Like, no, Erica, that's not true. No way, man. Okay. All right, sure. You got it, buddy. You got it. Let me know how that works out for you. They don't never show you their young wife. Where the young wife at? Well, you know, I date young bitches. Well, where the young bitches at? Let me see them. Let me see them. Let me see them. Let me get out of there. We cutting up. Let me get out of there. Let me go over here. All right. How to be a jack superintendent in your 20s. While your friends are studying business, you're making 6 figures, running job sites, and walking 10,000 steps a day. Again, if you're in my Middleman of Millions training, we're going to talk about it today. I think it's on the list of things where you're getting some of these certifications and you're making 80K out the gate. Even in the certifications, like 4 to 6 classes, y'all. Some of them are two-day trainings and you're making 50 to 80K a year. Again, there isn't a moment where a lot of these people, I call them what I call them. I'm going to just tell you what I call them. I call them white boy slide through the door careers. Come on through, white boy, slide through this door and come get this 100K year job. And nobody can challenge us on the meritocracy of you getting this job because you have a certificate. You have a certificate. Now, Kenny, let me see your mama family. Kenny, let me see your mama family. Kenny, let me call your grandparents. Kenny, stop playing with me. There's always stories, but I always say, let me see your other family. Let me see your other family. Let me see your daddy. Now, listen, I have a friend. We have a next door neighbor. His mom looked old. She just looked old. It is what it is. She was an old looking white girl. She married an older black man. To this day, his family's still tight. Her family's still like, ugh. Well, you know, he's been a good man, you know. He's been good to her. And I'm telling you, even to this day, you would think they'd be like, oh man, that's so amazing. Her dad is still like, you know, he's been all right to her. He's not excited. He's not enthusiastic. The data doesn't prove it. Listen, 100 years of marriage certificates. The average age gap on marriage certificates for the past 100 years in America is 4 years. 4 years is the average gap in America where they legally went and got married at the courthouse, wherever, church, documentation for 100 years in America is 4 years. The data does not back up these damn. My daddy was 62 and my mama was 17. It doesn't back it up. I'm glad that worked out for you. I'm glad you're not a serial killer. I'm all glad for all of that. I'm just saying the data doesn't support it. That's all. We're going to keep it pushing. Instruction manager. All right. Again, you don't even have to go to college for some of this. But again, when y'all go to the class, Middleman to Millions, your class, you'll see what I'm talking about. All this stuff, I'm being honest. Now, this is something you're going to hear a lot of black people be frustrated about. A lot of black people become safety managers and people hate that. And there's a lot of kind of racist videos because safety manager is an easy certificate. It's not the easiest. Let me be careful how I say this, but it's an easy certificate. So it's just a joke video, but you see it.
Bitch ass nigga, you can miss me with the whole ass shenanigans. Wait. What a nigga got to tell me? How the fuck is you gonna tell me about the shit you?
I had to stop it. I forgot I had a lot of cussing in it. One of y'all sent this to me and it was funny. But literally, safety manager just like, hey man, be careful next time. Or here's your write-up for being, we saw this at the job site today. Again, they hate this. They hate this job, but it pays well. It pays well. I saw a video of all these black people in the oil rigs making money. I was like, damn, what is the job they do? And it was a bunch of safety managers and white men was in the comments like, they get on my nerves telling us what to do and how to be safe. They don't know our job. And I started laughing. I was like, damn, is it that bad? But apparently it is. Apparently it is. They don't like you telling them their job. Let me play this one for y'all.
Getting out of college in the spring, that is painful. Even the people that are 2 years out, just learning that the corporate ladder is kind of a waste of time and there's no guarantees. And also the 1950s where they're going to rub your back if you rub theirs. Yeah, you're learning that one too, aren't you? That's kind of brutal. So you might as well get used to the 45 grand you're making right now and start learning about how to make some side money. And talking about side money, you're probably sick of the gurus saying that you should do that, but you also know that it's the only way out. And do I have a solution for you? Subscription-based real estate, not really any experience needed because most people in the industry, they're kind of dumb anyways. So you could probably come in yourself and crush it. Yeah, so the internet stole your girl and now AI is about to take your job. That's crazy. Dude, being a 22-year-old right now in 2026, getting out of
Kenny, don't let it derail you. If your mom had 2 master's degrees, that means your mom was over 30, right? If your mom was over 30 and your dad is 50, who gives a fuck? Like, I'm not trying to be funny. I don't want to derail the show, but I will stop the show just to say that. Like, if your mom has 2 master's degrees, that means she went to school, 21, plus a master's degree, 2 more years, 23, plus 2 more years, 27. And maybe she worked. By the time she met your daddy, she was 30, right? And he, 50, 23 plus 30 is what? 43? Ain't nobody give a damn. I'm talking about somebody that's 18, 19, 20 years old and somebody 40, 50. See, don't let the comment get you out of pocket. And don't let it get me out of pocket. I'm not saying your mama retarded. I'm not saying she dumb. I'm not saying her family's dumb. I'm just saying historically, statistically, the data backs up. It don't never really work unless, as Kenny, you said, your mama has 2 master's degrees. So if they met after she has the 2 master's degrees, that means she's in her 30s, right? After 30, you get with a 52-year-old, that's on you. Like, I don't want to get out of pocket. I respect anybody who comes watch my channel, but I mean, just look like, come on now. Like, don't be sensitive. Don't be sensitive. Now, I understand if you've done well in life, your family's done well in life. Hey, you know what I mean? Like, good to hear. Wonderful. Excellent. That is a wonderful story. I am glad the conclusion of her life has been a majesty. Like, beautiful. I love that for you. God bless you. Have a betterful day, right? Whatever the words are, okay? I am neurodivergent. And these comments, that's why I have to just ignore the comment section sometimes. Because I already know how I will get in my feelings because I'll be like, can y'all get it together? Can y'all get it together? Come on. Knock it off. Get out of here. Scram. Cut it out. Knock it off. Let me get back to where I was at. I'm trying to wrap this up. Let me get back to where I was at. His page is really good. Why is his page really good? I was going to say he's a property manager in Knoxville, Tennessee. Now, why is this important? Why does this matter? It don't take a lot to be a property manager. Some states are style making. You have to get a real estate license to do extra things. But really, it's just following up with people. You're just following up with people. And again, he's correct. Sales is one of those careers where you can get 100K. Let me play this right here.
Being a car salesman, complete waste of time. After you learn how to sell, nurture, and close deals. This is the exact car lot that I worked on 5 years ago before I built the company I own today, Stonebrook, that makes me $20,000 net a month and is growing. And I don't have to spend 60 hours a week on this pavement that is a complete waste of time after you know how to sell. And let me tell you, when you know that you got to do 100, 200, 300 phone calls a day to nasty customers that don't want to buy a car just to close 10 to 16 car sales a week, a month, that's called a hamster wheel. They have you on a hamster wheel here because they want you to make good money. So you have to go and buy the nice truck, the bass boat, the house, and then you get stuck. And now you work for the system instead of building something for yourself like I did. Make the money, get the bag, get out with the skills, and go do something that can turn into an asset. I've been guilty of this same advice, but if you want to make 100 grand, they say you have to get into sales. And I've actually realized that most people don't have the skill set to actually sell. So to put them in that environment would be highly risky and unethical at best. And I have found over the last 3 years, coming from an environment where I worked salary, I worked management, I have a master's degree, I did the things I was supposed to do as that millennial guy to go make good money and couldn't make it. I made 42 grand max when not being in sales. But however, I have made 165,000 as a car salesman. And hear me out. I don't want you selling cars. It's the worst. So how do you make 6 figures and not have to sell your soul to go sell high ticket crap, cars, whatever, all the liability and the drought in between those months of good sales months? You know it if you're a sales guy listening to this. How do you make good money without having to go into sales? I have a solution. I do it already.
Anyway, let me get out of there because you're ready to sell. But I just want you to understand, like, anybody who lives in America right now and you're asking, Erica, how do we at this current time in America make $100K a year? And the best thing I can explain to you is, one is sales, and two, that's part of the reason I'm teaching Middleman to Millions, because you go into 2 roads. You either start selling, and there's 230 people here. At least y'all can do is hit the like button. You know, I done got spicy. I done got out of pocket. I salute the kid. Y'all, please tell Kenny congratulations on his parents and him growing up with 2 parents. Congratulations. He wants that. Y'all, please congratulate him in the comments. You know, give him the love, give him the likes, give him the virtual hug. Kenny, we're just so delighted that you grew up with both your parents. Okay, thank you so much. We're so blessed that you have entered our conversation today, letting us know that you had an older daddy and a younger mom. Thank you so much, Kenny. Thank you so much. I just want you to know we're just grateful that you came in here today. Okay, thank you so much. Anyways, the ways that you can make money in the coming 5 years, and I'm gonna keep going on about this. The next coming 5 years is going to be digital products, physical products, or service business, right? And people don't want to hear that because they want to hear that there's going to be a job where they can sit in office and send emails and make 180K a year. I'm really sorry to you. Whenever there's a recession, the only people that are able to really maintain and have a great standard of living are salespeople. Just being honest with you. Again, safety managers are low-key 100K career, but yeah, they don't do any work, but they ride around job sites, check on us. It's a fair money gig. I'm just being honest with you. And the reason I'm doing Middleman to Millions is because I've talked about it since 2019. And I think a lot of people just kind of blew me off like, well, Erica, no, everybody don't want to have a business. And I'm like, it's not even about having the business. It's about being in the game. And a lot of y'all don't understand. And unfortunately, a lot of people in the Black community get upset when we talk about, real estate. Oh, I can't afford it. I can't buy. I can't get in the neighborhood I want. But I'm like, just to be truthfully honest, real estate is the one ladder. You can go up, you can go down, you can go left, you can go right. There's millions of dollars made on it. It's a huge part of our GDP, right? And if you don't figure out a way to be involved in some of the transaction, whether you're a mortgage broker, which you can sit at the house, we've talked about that. I think I've shown y'all this page a million times. Right here, this is the Cowboy Real Estate. Yeah, he's a broker realtor, but he's also works with mortgage brokers, referral systems. It's crazy. It's a lot of money to be made. And so are you even in the funnel of the money? Right? Are you even in the opportunity way to get some of this money, to be involved in your local economy, right? When something's popping off, when government contracts are getting handed out, when money's moving around, it's through housing, it's through construction, whether it's roads or commercial, right? And so if you're in Atlanta right now, Atlanta's getting ready to drop like $6 billion in more construction. Do you know what I'm saying? And so if you talk to a Black person, they live in Atlanta and they crying about the cost of living, and they ain't figured out a way to get into some type of way to this construction, whether they're insurance, they're a safety manager, they're an inspector, a home inspector, they're something, right? Like somewhere in there. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't figured out a way to get in there, where you're moving with the $5 billion that's coming to your town, I don't know what to tell you. Now, immediately you see 40% of homeowners in Utah are Gen Z. But no, Erica, no way. With a city with less than 90,000 residents, 41% of homeowners are Gen Z. I keep telling y'all, people are going to move further out and into smaller towns, into smaller cities, so they can get a house. That is the American stepping stone for assets, is a house. No matter what, all these Grant Cardone, all these people trying to sell you, I'm telling you, the people I know that are building homes right now, spec home builders, there are 3 or 4 of them that had made $4 million last year. And we were talking to them like, how you feel about that? And he's like, oh man, it was a lot of work. But honestly, people want a deal. They want a deal. They want a house that looks great, unique. They want to be able to have some down payment assistance program. They want to just get in there because they know they've watched these cities since 2019 where their friends got a house and live a completely different life than them. I lived in Austin and I remember watching this guy who had bought a house. He was saying, hey, he got out of the military. He had a house in Killeen. He rented that out. So then he bought a house in Round Rock. And this is all before 2019. And then he was like, I really want to be closer into Austin. So he bought a rundown house and he did a whole renovation. Kept the house in Killeen, kept the house in Round Rock, rented them both out. The appreciation and the rental income from those 2 houses, he got fired all the time from jobs. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. He was in tech sales and he kept getting fired. And we're like, damn, maybe you need to do something different in tech sales. He's like, I don't want to leave Austin. I already did the military. I already did my time. I want to be right here. I want to chill. And he was getting, I think, $3,000 off the property in Round Rock. He was getting maybe $2,000 a month off the property in Killeen. Now, you're going to say, well, Erica, what was his mortgages? Again, you're talking about before 2019. You're talking about 700 to 1,000, maybe 900 at most mortgage at max. Listen, I know people right now that have shown me where they have a $745 a month mortgage. And I'll be like, oh, I'm about to throw up. Right? Like they'll show me, Erica, listen, this is really just, I want to show you this screenshot. And I'll be like, girl, get it. Right? They be showing me their Bank of America statement. They pay their mortgage. Okay. So it just depends on what price they bought the house in, but they live a different life. They live a different life. So you decide now, okay, well, this is what I want in America. And if I can't get in America, people are trying to figure out how they can, I'm going to leave America. I'm getting out of here. Okay, cool. Bye. Peace out. See you in a couple years when you come back. Okay. Same thing here. Hollywood offices are being content studios. We make a lot of fun of people doing stuff in their house. Some of these states are coming up with laws now that you can't have a business in your home over a certain amount of income and over a certain amount of numbers, or like if you start submitting your data, you have to get a license. They're doing little things to try to get commercial spaces back popping. You will. Listen, the guy that has more plates, more dates, he used to be in his apartment and then he moved it to a studio and they literally built a fake wall, the fake looking sad old cheap apartment he has. And this dude has made $30 million. But you can't cheat the game. You're gonna have to invest in somewhere, in an office, in your marketing, in your ad spend. You're gonna invest somewhere. You have to decide. All right. Just decide where you're gonna invest, where you're gonna invest your time and your energy. You ain't gotta fight me on it. I'm just telling you. Let me show you this right here. This is another part of where I keep telling y'all the real estate matters. He helped build downtown Denver. Now he's back to save it. This man done made so much money. He decided to come back and make some more money. I mean, again, if you got something built in downtown Denver, Bill Mosier probably had his hand in it. His resume is Coors Field, Denver Pavilions, Union Station, the Hyatt Regency Tower, and a long list of public-private deals, which means the public paid for it and he built it and got paid to help define the city. By the end of 2023, Mosier had stepped back from leading his Colorado business and was ready for a quieter life. But then he saw downtown Denver look like shit. And he said, oh no, the office vacancies are soaring. The retail has went to the suburbs. This is sad. This beautiful thing I built. So now guess what he did? He said, city, give me some more money. He came back out of retirement and said, city, please give me some more money. And they said in 2024, they voted to expand the tax increment financing district. that he himself had set up years earlier. Don't get it twisted. The city had $570 million to give him back some money. Said, we're going to give you this $570 million. Please come back. Help our downtown some more. Okay. So then I guess he does this. Okay. We feel like we're inventing the model. Okay. You know, when I came in, let me stop. 38% downtown office vacancy. 50% vacancy in parts of upper downtown business district. It was struggling through no fault of its own, and then it was good. So again, what's happening in these cities? All these cities want you, please come back. What can we do? Can we build mixed housing? Can we build apartments? We got to figure out something. And they're giving millions to do it. Millions to do it. Okay? We go here again. If you're in the home side, what's something y'all been seeing a lot of? Pools, spas. Let's just go there. Retail isn't disappearing, but what fills it is shifting fast. For the first time ever, service-based tenants from gyms and spas to cryotherapy studios now account for more than half of the retail leasing across the United States. As e-commerce continues to chip away at goods-based retail, landlords are leaning into wellness, fitness, experience-driven concepts where the meet the consumer spending are heading. Now, what did I just tell y'all? What are they doing? Long and the short of it, they're building. I don't know if you've been in certain towns where you see the jump place where they have the trampoline places. I'm in one town right now. They have 7 trampoline places and they're all busy and they're all full. Right? Right? And so the trampoline places, right? The trampoline places are making money. Why? Parents want their kids to be active. They want them to hang out with other kids without it having to be an exclusive play date. So they fill these places up. You know, they're selling memberships for $200, $300 a year. You can jump as much as you want. They know you ain't gonna bring that kid that much, so it's just gonna be full of kids jumping. Okay, you have cryotherapy places. You have spas. You have orange therapy fitness, Hot Works. I love Hot Works. It's drying my hair out this week, but I love it. You have several different places that people come, right? And they are getting an experience, right? The painting, what is that? Painting and drinking places, the bars, like everybody's looking for a third place, right? You have your home, you have your work, and they're looking for that third place. And that's what you're going to see in a lot of future endeavors, right? So I'm going to show this last one. And I just want to tell you, like, you got to live life. I'm going to show you these last two because I got to go to my training. And I'm going to be like, dang, Erica, come on. But let me play this for y'all. And then the last one, because this matters. It's just the data. It's just the data.
And in divorce, and nearly 1 in 3 of those are impacted by money problems, not cheating, not communication, money. That's why how you manage your money as a couple matters more than people think. When my wife and I got married, we had very different ideas about money. I came from a financially unstable background, so I was locked in on saving. And she wanted to enjoy life, travel, create new experiences, and actually live. And early on, we didn't see eye to eye, but instead of letting that divide us, we decided that we were going to get on the same page and build a plan that allowed us to do both. And that decision changed everything for us. Here are 3 financial moves we made that helped us build wealth and enjoy life. Number 1, we combined our money, which created transparency, trust, and real accountability. Number 2, we built income outside of our 9-to-5s because one stream of income wasn't going to fund the life we wanted. And number 3, we created a system for our money, saving, investing, and spending, all with intention. And instead of letting our money sit, we moved it into a high yield savings account so it could actually grow. We even used the interest we made from the high yield savings to help cover travels, flights, hotels, experiences, all of it. Comment plan and I'll send you the high yield savings accounts we use so your money can start working for you. Because I'll say this, marriage and money done right, that is a life hack. About 40% of marriages.
Okay, so I want y'all to hear that first number and a couple other things. So y'all, I can't take it. I got to put you in timeout. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. I let you slide and you're doing too much. Okay, so let me keep it moving. All right. Because you just confirmed what I thought. Your mother was a young woman and an old man married her. And then she went and got her master's degrees later in life. Exactly. Like I said, Kenny, have a great day. Have a beautiful day. Have a blessed day. The rest of your family was fucked up. That's all that was. Stop trying to Stop trying to dance around it. Okay. That's why I put you in timeout, because I can't take it. Anyway, what he said was 40%. Now, what you're going to hear in this coming year, I want y'all to be if you don't hear from nowhere else first, mark your calendars. Erica said it today, March 22nd. I'm going to pre-record some content in here later today, but you're going to start hearing the number down. 40%. Okay. I've been telling y'all for years, men are walking around saying 50% divorce rates and 70% single moms. That is 1994 data. Okay. And I want you to understand, we've been telling you, the only people that have 50% divorce rates are people who get married from 18 years old to 21 years old. If you get married from 28 to 32 years old, it's your first time marriage, you have a 9% divorce rate. So now the data is going to start really coming out that it's really less than 40% of people getting divorced. See, 60% of marriages are fine. Really, to be honest, 70% are. Because if you got married later in life, the rates of you divorcing, if you went to college at all, your divorce rate is 25%. So that means 3 in 4 people that got married if they went to college are still married. See, y'all don't want to hear real numbers. But what's happening, okay, what was happening is we've let the knuckleheads, the fish drivers, the goofy balls be out here on the internet hollering about 50% divorce rates, 50%. And they've even had to say, well, damn, I guess we gotta, it's really 40%. It ain't even 40%. The only people that have 50% divorce rates, and the church has been telling you this, all these David Prager, the Heritage Foundation for years been telling you, 50% divorce rates only applied to people 18 to 21. And because motherfuckers are so dumb, they can't understand math, they can't understand statistics, they can't understand graphs, that when you say it, they were like, well, yeah, Erica, that's 9%. And this is this. Well, then overall it's 50%. No, you dummy. That's not how math works. The only 50% number only applied to people who got married at 18 years old to 21. For everybody else in the whole United States, okay, if you had one drop of college, if you went to college for 2 days, you went to community college, your divorce rate was 25%. Why? Because you got married later, okay? Later. If you got married for the first time, 28 to 32, your divorce rate was 9%. That's why all these married people are quiet online, because they looking at y'all like y'all crazy. They like, why are you 40 plus never married? That's on you. That's your choice. Okay? This is CIA working hard overtime to make sure y'all never get married and y'all never build anything. Because by the time you 40, talking about you want some kids and a wife to stay home, baby, you're gonna spend the next 40 years building something, whether it's just paying for them kids or trying to build some type of retirement. This is warfare. This is economic warfare on a whole generation of men. Because when you start hitting them with the numbers, well, baby, 47% of Black children are in single parent homes. The rest are in 2-parent homes. Well, does it mean? No, 47%. This is from 2023 data. They have updated the data that y'all been crying about for years that we kept telling y'all was 1994 data. Even the data saying, well, dads make better parents than moms. No, they looked that data up. That single dad data applied to 1999 and no other year. And then it was a study of a small amount of kids that went to juvenile detention. So they were just talking about kids that didn't go to juvenile detention. Like, that's how silly this is. Y'all reading from data that is expired, outdated, and it embarrasses you. And when people call you out, instead of saying, well, damn, I didn't know that, people never going to agree that they were wrong. They're just going to say, well, no, you're wrong. That's the key to all this. You're wrong. Just be wrong. Sit in your wrongness and be okay with it. Because that data's been fake. These married people out here living their life and laughing all the way to the bank. Y'all gonna figure it out. You're gonna figure it out someday. Please don't clown yourself out here, because that's what you're doing. Embarrassing you and your whole family. Don't do it. Let me show you this, and we're gonna close out, because I'm supposed to be doing that training right now. Again, everybody ain't broke. Everybody ain't struggling. Why you can't afford to go to the games at college or NFL anymore? Because it's the people that's going.
Oil and gas.
What's the most you've made in a single year?
15 million.
I started a company called Encode. We renamed the company Tyler Technologies.
What was the most amount of money you've ever made in a year?
55 million.
Construction. We revenue 42 million a year.
Home building. When we sold to private equity, that paycheck was over $1.6 million.
Oil and gas. I got kicked out of college and then decided to go in the trucking business. Then went into the production business.
What was the most amount of money you ever made in a year?
About $80 million.
Considered Los Angeles. I made $2.3 million this year.
I played in the NFL. 1 year for Oakland Raiders, 6 years for Seattle Seahawks.
What's the most amount of money you made in a single year?
2.5 million, something like that.
You help loans for a living.
What's the most you've made in a single year?
$1 million.
We are neighbors. They try to say only SMU's got the money.
No. We live, what, 3/4 mile from SMU?
What's the most amount of money you made in a year?
7 figures plus. I'm in the leasing business, automobile leasing, and it's because of fraternity brothers and friends from tech. My tech heritage is what drove me and enabled me to make the living that I've made.
What industry do you work in?
Now you can go watch his page. You can go look. That's all he does is run around asking people. He's in Dallas now. You're gonna say, "Oh, these people are lying. These kids faking. All these people, they making this up. They ain't got no money." I promise you. I go to these events, baby, honey. I go to these events, and the only people at these football games, in certain sections, the only people really out here like this are people who own businesses. It is basically, if you're at sports events at certain levels, is nothing but upper echelon. You're talking about people spending thousands of dollars. I keep trying to get y'all to understand, like the people you're interacting with, they looking at you crazy, like, "Oh, how are you here?" They're trying to figure out how you even at the event with them. How'd you get here? How'd you get here? They trying to figure it out because everybody at these events have a certain level of income. They're grandfathered in. They looking at you crazy. How are you here? Who paid for your ticket? Okay. And you're like, "Well, he's just interviewing sports people." No. He's interviewing the people who attend the sports stuff. Okay. Let me go here. Let me go this last one. Because I keep telling y'all about farm and land and business. But okay, last one and we can close it out. Here we go. That's it.
Say, what's your biggest financial flex?
I don't have to say my chicken farm. We got contracts all over the state of Texas.
How many chickens have you sold so far?
We average about 35,000 a week. We got contracts at HEB, Natural Grocer, Whole Foods.
How'd you get into that?
Man, I took an easy class in college. Poultry science.
So you learned it from college, from Texas A&M?
Yep.
No
took
way.
an easy class in college and made it my major, and now it started off, to be my plan B. Now it might be my plan A.
Say, what's your biggest financial flex?
I don't have to say my chicken farm. We got contracts all over.
Yes, you're gonna like, "That's $5 million." Or, we'll go on in another day. But anyway, let's get into it. I'm going over to train the students over in the Middleman to Millions. God bless y'all. I hope y'all do well. Please live a big life. This is how I'm gonna end it, and I'm gonna end it on this right here because I think this is important.
I'm Rex Culpepper, 20 years old. I play quarterback at Syracuse University. One thing about my family is we're really tight knit and we're strong and we'll get through anything together. But, there was a lot of tears and there was a big shock.
Former football star Rex Culpepper dead after a dirt bike accident. He was only 28 years old. The incident happened Saturday in Georgia. According to the Tampa Bay Times, just 3 weeks after Rex and his fiancée Savannah shared these photos of their engagement. In her tribute, she says no one expects to meet the love of your life and lose them in only 6 short years. She calls him one in a billion. There wasn't one thing that man couldn't do.
I'm from Tampa. Next door neighbor's Derek Jeter. I spent a lot of time kicking it at his crib. Michael Jordan's over there, DJ Khaled.
Friends are calling Rex the life of every party. Growing up in Tampa Bay, the son of Brad Culpepper, a former Buck star.
Huge amount of respect for my dad. I see pictures of me out on the field and he's holding me, and it's like from a movie. It's something that I would, dream of doing with my kid one day.
Both of Rex's siblings played college ball too. And after his days as a D1 athlete, Rex worked as an attorney. He played the guitar.
I know you like to cook. I'd say my specialty is steak.
He was a gearhead and got Savannah into dirt bikes. He even beat cancer. Rex and his parents, who appeared on Survivor in 2013, spoke with Moffitt Cancer Center in Florida during his battle 8 years ago, which included 100 hours of chemo in 20 days.
I kind of woke up with a little bit of swelling. I decided to just go to the doctor. Within 2 hours of me going, I'd been diagnosed with testicular cancer.
He said, Mom, I am not going to die. He said, I'm going to be fine. Don't cry anymore. I got this.
I'm the type of person that, wants to outwork anybody to achieve my goals. I don't see this holding me back at all. I'm invincible.
Y'all, that man lived 10 lives, and there's a lot of people out here ain't lived none. So you guys have a blessed day. I'm going to my training now. Y'all have an amazing day, man. It's a good life. I'm living a good life, and I hope you guys are too. Later.
Hi, I'm Brandy Williams, founder of Williams Accounting and Tax Services in McDonough, Georgia. We're a full-service accounting firm proudly serving clients nationwide, including military families and U.S. expats. With over 20 years of experience as an IRS-enrolled agent, we've got you covered from past tax returns to business services and strategic tax planning. Visit WilliamsActTax.com. Let's get connected and take your finances to the next level.